Hey guys. I'm going to read to you guys the second half of a short story of mine called Body Image. And I'm just going to bring you into the scene. Two middle school girls, sorry Anna, are in a bathroom exchanging, I can't see this, exchanging their jeans because Carla is getting bullied. So Jessica turned away from Carla and pulled off her jeans while Carla attempted to undo her gigantic belt. It's so unfair that you have boobs now. I wish I had boobs. Unfair? Not unfair to you, unfair to me. Boobs suck. They hurt and they make none of your clothes fit. Yeah, but the boys look at you now. Even the older ones. Just the smelly ones that play with those weird cards. It's not that great, I promise. Carla tripped on the billowing jeans at her ankles and caught herself on the toilet paper dispenser. She exchanged jeans with Jessica. I wish they looked at me. I wish I had your boobs. Believe me, I wish you did too. Seriously, I don't want them. Carla thought about looking at herself in the mirror a few weeks ago. Wait a minute. Do you really want them? What, your huge jeans? No. No, I mean my boobs. What are you talking about? You can't give me your boobs. I think maybe I can. Carla tore off her shirt and unclasped her bra. Jessica threw up her arms up over her eyes in an X. Jessica, stop it. Look, okay? Jessica peeked and watched as Carla removed first her right breast, then her left. Jessica didn't say a word for a moment. Whoa, that is freaky. Is this a dream? No, stupid. So, do you want them? Jessica looked at the breasts in Carla's hands enviously. How? Can they just attach to me? I don't know, maybe. I think you have to take yours off first, though. Jessica lifted her shirt. Earlier shine is gone. She shut her eyes, took a deep breath, and then peeled off one breast, and then the other. I did it, she said. Okay, let's switch. They switched and attached their new breasts. Carla was gleeful. Here, take my bra. I don't want it. I don't need it. She shook her fist, grinning. Wait, no, you have to sort of fall into it. Your strap's twisted. There you go. Jessica put her shirt back on, but stretched and righted up in the back. She ran to the mirror outside. Wow, she gasped. Look at me. She tucked her hair behind one ear. She then glanced at Carla behind her. Do you think it works on ears? Jessica said. Ears? Carla said. What's wrong with your ears? They're tiny. Jonah in math class calls me elf ears. Carla shook her head. I don't want your ears. She was not getting rid of the torture in one place just to gain it in another. Carla, that is so unfair. I took your jeans and your boobs. You wanted my boobs. Please, Carla, don't be so mean. Before Carla could reply, Jessica grabbed one of her own ears and turned it. It turned upside down. She turned it again, and it separated from her head with a pop. Carla, take my ears, please. Carla, please. Carla sighed and pulled her left ear off. Nobody noticed it first. Some of the teachers looked at Carla a second longer than usual, but then would shake their heads and look away. Coach Clive asked at lunch if she had gotten a haircut. In science, Tiffany walked up to her, opened her mouth to speak, but then didn't say anything. The teacher put on a movie called Our Earth and dimmed the lights. Tiffany leaned back in her chair and flipped her long, shiny hair, spilling it onto Carla's desk. Carla tried to pay attention to the film in case there was a quiz, but the hair sitting on her desk kept distracting her. Her hand crept towards the hair and she touched it lightly. Tiffany didn't even flinch. Carla took a deep breath. It wasn't wrong, she thought, if you steal from a bad person. Like Robin Hood. Carla leaned forward, grabbed a handful of hair near Tiffany's scalp and pulled. The sound reminded Carla of Velcro. Tiffany turned and looked at the hair in Carla's hand and then touched the top of her bald head. Her face distorted as she screamed. The lights flicked back on and the rest of the class watched as Carla took off her own hair and put on Tiffany's. Tiffany continued to scream and looked at the teacher in protest. Miss Madsen stared open-mouthed as Angela, a pretty girl with red hair, joined Tiffany's screams in chorus as her hair was also yanked off with a crunch. Once the girls of Nelson Middle School realized they could remove their body parts and exchange them for others, chaos ensued. As Carla was walking to her locker to look at her new hair, Stacy ran up and grabbed her nose. She turned to grab it back, but a different girl twice her size kicked her in the stomach and held her head between her legs as she ripped off Tiffany's hair. There was nothing for it. As Carla ran toward the gym, she saw a girl she didn't know very well and hit her over the head with a math textbook. The girl hit the floor. I'm sorry, she wailed as she took her nose and hair. Jessica found Carla in the locker room. Her top lip was larger than her bottom. We're at school. We can't just leave. We're going to go to the locker room, she said. Jessica related that most of the boys could not remove their body parts, their voices still high, and their faces still chubby. Carla and Jessica quietly edged outside the door when Tiffany, bald and eyes wild, kicked Carla in the shins and held her by the throat against the wall. Carla gasped for air as Tiffany snarled, "Where's my hair, Carl?" Swarms of people gathered in the gym with a roar, girls clawing at one another. Bonnie from English grabbed at Tennis Mallory's chest with her remaining arm. The breast tumbled and fell out from underneath the bottom of her sweater onto the floor. Tennis Mallory shoved Bonnie to the ground. A tall 8th grade boy among those who had barreled down the locker room grabbed the breast at their feet and ran out the door. Miss Madison was trying to separate Angela and the girl who had removed her hair while nursing her own dislocated shoulder. Miss Canton, the guidance counselor, stood on the bleachers, her voice made tinny through a megaphone. "Removing body parts is disrespectful. Give them back. Love your bodies, girls." Yvonne had 3 noses in her hands, but none of them her own. Nerd Mallory, smaller than the rest, pulled at her mouth and knees, unable to remove anything at all. Carla coughed and realized Tiffany's hands were no longer on her throat, but at her feet, and no longer attached to Tiffany. The crowd had pulled her away. Carla blinked and saw people pulling Tiffany apart, appendage by appendage, including Sarah from Social Studies and Stacy, Tiffany's own best friend. Jessica was nowhere to be seen, but Carla thought she had recognized one of the yellow kids with her foot still inside it by the basketball goal. Carla thought she saw 2 girls hugging until one of the girls broke in half. Carla slid further down the wall as a leg slammed where her head had been. As fewer girls remained, the gym got quieter, lips, noses, eyes, and hair strewn among the dodgeballs. Thank you.